Good morning, everybody. I'm going to call the December 17th, 2025 meeting of the Tennessee Real Estate Commission to order. According to my clock, it is 8:30 a.m. on the button. We are going to begin with Ms. Baker and our public disclaimer and roll call. Ms. Baker.
Thank you. Notice of the December meeting of the Tennessee Real Estate Commission, including date and time, has been noticed on the Tennessee Real Estate website since September 15th, 2024. Additionally, this month's agenda has been posted on the website since Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Individuals who wish to make a public comment on an item listed on the posted agenda during the scheduled public comment period will need to sign in on the provided sign-in sheet or by placing their name in the chat box online. It is requested that comments be limited to 3 minutes out of respect for other speakers. I will now call the roll. Chair Diaz,
Here.
Vice Chair Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Moffitt, Commissioner Begley, Commissioner Torbett, Commissioner Gwynn,
Here.
Commissioner Rampy, Commissioner Tucker, Commissioner Gahn. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. I just want to note for the record that Commissioner Rampy was delayed this morning due to a traffic accident, and he will be joining us shortly.
Not his own traffic accident.
Not his own traffic accident, no, but he is caught in the wake of it. Next on the agenda is our prayer and pledge. I will ask Commissioner Torbett to lead us in both, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I thank you for each and every person here. Ask that you just guide and direct us in the decisions that we make today. Help us to honor you in our words and actions. I just ask that you be with everyone as they travel home. Give them a safe holiday. In Jesus' name, amen. Stand, please.
This meeting is being recorded.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is to adopt our agenda for today's meeting. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
You will find a supplemental to the education report, as well as to the legal report.
Thank you. Any other amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion to approve the agenda by Commissioner Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Tucker. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Next is the approval of the minutes from the October 16th meeting. Commissioners have had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Gwynn, seconded by Commissioner Gahn. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
So we have, 5 ayes and 2 abstentions. With that, the motion passes. Ms. Baker, do you want to call the roll for informal appearances?
Yes, if you are here for a formal appearance, if you will write in the chat that you are here for a formal appearance, and I'll call the roll. We have 3 candidates. Mr. Sean Lynch, I believe he is here. Will you please turn on your camera? Mr. Lynch?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to figure out how to cut it on.
All right, thank you. Ms. Principal Broker Karen Hoff. All right, we have Matthew Merriam. Are you present, Matthew? If you will please turn on your camera.
Yes, I am present.
And are you with your principal broker, Jennifer Kavanaugh?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Good morning, thank you. And then lastly, we have Jared McDonald, who is wanting to open up his own firm as a broker, so he does not have a principal broker present. Shall we begin with candidate A?
Yes, Ms. Baker, tell us about candidate A, please.
Would you like to give an overview to the candidates before?
Sure. So the way these informal appearances work is we will first hear from the candidate, and then commissioners will have an opportunity to ask questions of the candidate. And then we will hear from the principal broker, if there is one, supporting their candidate. And then commissioners will have a second opportunity for questions. After that, once questions are exhausted, there will be a motion, and the result will be the result. If there aren't any questions about that process, Mr. Lynch, you are recognized. Please describe the circumstances that caused you to appear before us today.
One moment, please, sir, and I'll give you a brief overview of Mr. Lynch.
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms.
Lynch,
Baker.
Mr. Lynch is before us today due to a reckless aggravated assault charge and attempted aggravated robbery. He has taken and passed the state and national affiliate broker exams. His statement and letter of recommendations can be found on your iPad.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Mr. Lynch, please go ahead.
Yes. So, my name is Sean Lynch. I've come across having to do this hearing because of my background. I did everything I needed to do. I faced adversity since I've been out of prison. So, I mean, I'm not new to it, but I've continued to do what I need to do to try to reach the levels that I want to reach without being hindered due to my background and my past. So that's what's brought me up against the board today.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Lynch? Ms. Smith?
Mr. Lynch, talk to us about what caused you to come before the board today.
Or the situation, my charges.
Yes, sir.
So in 2013, I was charged with attempted robbery and reckless aggravated assault. I was 19 years old at the time. Just sentenced to 12 years in prison, and I got out August 2020, and I've been out for 5 years. So.
Well, go ahead and tell us about what you've been doing in the 5 years since your release.
So while I was in prison, I got in Nashville State. I completed an associate's degree in business administration. When I was released, I went to the electric union. I was going through the apprenticeship, but I ended up stopping. From there, I went and started working I actually went to independent contractor for a courier company. Then I went and started working on 18-wheelers. I was a diesel mechanic for a couple of years. After that, I started my own maintenance business and retail business where I bought and sold stuff off the auction. Now I'm back to independent contracting for a courier company, and I also have a small investment in a hotel, and I'm also actually in the process of branding my own cologne line, and I'm trying to get in real estate. So that's what I've been doing since I've been out.
Commissioners, any other questions for Mr. Lynch? All right. Ms. Hoff, you're recognized. Please tell us why you are willing to work with Mr. Lynch.
Oh, that's easy. I met Sean about a year and a half ago, was renting a house for me, pays us around the time every month, personable, intelligent, family man, father, maintains the property excellently, holds intelligent conversations every time I call him and talk to him about any kind of issue. I thought he was a walking, talking, breathing real estate agent. He holds conversations very well. He's a natural salesman, very intelligent, wants to buy vacant land, build a home, build his future, buy rental property, have a retirement someday. This man is very smart, and he knows what he wants to do with his life. You know, he's an entrepreneur to the 10th degree. Just talk to him, and he's always going on with a new idea and building his ideas and starting with nothing. He's already got investments lined up. Investment in a hotel for a gentleman that at one time was just starting from scratch. So I encouraged him to go to real estate school, which he did. He was an excellent student. He was actually in my class, excellent student, passed the course with flying colors, first time taking the test. You know, just extremely bright. I think he'll do really well in this business. So I'm glad to support him and see how far he can go with his ambitions. I truly believe he'll be very good at this business.
Okay. Ms. Hoff, why don't you give us a brief overview about supervision and training at your firm?
I'm the managing broker of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty. I am also the owner of Historic and Distinctive Homes Property Management. And what I like to do is I like to put them under my wing, and I help them write their first few contracts. I help them negotiate his contracts with them. I encourage them to go ahead and take the launch course at the board, contract writing, transaction desk, dot loop. So I put him on the track. Once he gets his license, I put him on the track to go ahead and get started understanding how the business works. So that's the first 6 months of his life will be education, which I truly believe he's capable of doing very well. He listens in class. He listens. He answers questions intelligently. He grasps the content very quickly. So I think he can do really well.
Commissioners, any other questions for Ms. Hoff? Hearing none. Is there a motion? I have a motion to approve this candidate by Commissioner Gahn, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Lynch, and good luck. You're welcome to stay for the meeting if you wish, or you're also free to go about your day. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Baker, tell us about candidate B.
Next, we have Matthew Merriam and principal broker Jennifer Kavanaugh. Mr. Merriam is before us today due to a felony aggravated unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle. He has taken and passed the timeshare salesperson exam. His statement and letter of recommendation can be found on the iPads.
Mr. Merriman, if you could unmute yourself and go ahead and tell us about the circumstances that caused you to appear before us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time. I'll start. In 2018, I was traveling through the state of New York, which I did not have a New York driver's license. I didn't reside in that state. And I was pulled over, and I had a few speeding tickets that had gone unpaid. And I was arrested for not having a license to operate there. But I did hold a license, just wasn't within the state. They had shared with me that my right to operate in the state of New York had been revoked due to the speeding tickets. I was charged with the aggravated because there were so many of them. So I was charged with that. And months later, when I tried to transfer to update my driver's license in the state of Pennsylvania, I was told that I couldn't do that because I had multiple speeding tickets I had to take care of in New York. I called New York, researched all of them, paid them off, and I transferred my license. Years passed. Fast forward to my move to Tennessee. When I was fingerprinted, it came up that there was a county where the fines were paid, but the charges were unresolved. And then I found that one of them was actually a felony. So obviously, having a license in the state of Tennessee, where I just relocated, where I'm the director of sales at this property, it's important that I have a license. I contacted New York. I attained a lawyer. I flew up to New York. I went to court. All of that was reduced to a driving infraction. So I provided the certificate of disposition. The only thing that it's on there now is a driving infraction, which I paid that fine in court. So there's no felony. It was just a driving infraction, again, reduced to that. Everything's been paid. I have a Tennessee driver's license. I also have the right to drive in New York if I happen to be up there again. And again, having a Tennessee timeshare license is important, as I am the site leader here on property with Hilton Grand Vacations.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Merriam? Hearing none, Ms. Kavanaugh, go ahead and talk to us about Mr. Merriam and why you wanted to be part of your firm.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time with us this morning. I've known and worked with Matt for over 20 years. I think I might have been just about as surprised as he was when the information came back on his fingerprints. I would trust him with my children. Incredibly upstanding character. He's made a dramatic impact on the team since he's come to our site here in Tennessee. We're excited to see all the things that we're going to accomplish once we're able to get him live in action.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Kavanaugh? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the application, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry.
We need
I need to take a motion.
Please.
I apologize. Is there a motion to?
I'll make a motion that we approve the application. Second.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Now let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Good luck, Mr. Merriam. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Candidate C, Ms. Baker.
Next, we have Jared McDonald, who is requesting to be a principal broker of his own firm. Mr. McDonald is before us today due to a California formal administrative filing. He has taken and passed the state and national broker exams. His statement can be found on your iPads.
So this is an unusual circumstance. This is the first time that we've had an informal appearance without a principal broker
Correct,
because he's trying to be a principal broker.
correct. He's eligible to be a principal broker due to his service in California.
In California. So he doesn't need one here. Okay. All right, Mr. McDonald, go ahead and describe the circumstances that caused you to appear before us today.
Yeah, I believe I got my broker's license sometime in after my grandfather, who was my broker at the time, passed away. About a year during some of the issues that they had in our family, we got audited. And part of that audit, as I was taking over the business, was, as they saw in the trust accounting, was some of the deficiencies or negative balances through that trust accounting. At the time, we were transitioning to software. My family had been doing this via pen and paper for quite some time. I wanted to bring them into the new era and get some better controls in place. Unfortunately, during that time, we were operating two trust account bookkeeping and a lot of other things that we just didn't really know were part of that process as we were trying to switch over. They found a lot of that stuff. And so they recognized that. We used that. I used that as a very big learning experience, which was actually very valuable to my business growth. And we got re-audited and got everything into compliance right away. We've been re-audited multiple times, both for the follow-up audit, the audit to have the restriction removed, which was granted just this year, and done that quite a bit. But
So your license is unrestricted and active in California right now?
correct.
Any other questions for Mr.
Question.
McDonald? Go ahead, Commissioner Gwynn.
Yes, you said they. Are you talking about the auditors with the California Real Estate Commission, or who are you talking about?
As far as being audited,
Yes. Who audited you?
the California Department of Real Estate audited me.
Okay.
Just want to know for the record that Commissioner Rampy has joined us. So now we have 8 commissioners present. So a tie vote on a motion, the motion fails on a tie vote. Any other questions for Mr. McDonald? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Smith to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Gahn. Any further discussion on the application or motion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir, and good luck, Mr. McDonald.
Commissioner Rampy.
Thank
did
you. I appreciate your
abstain
time.
from that vote?
I did not abstain, but I had read the file.
Okay, very good. So 8-0. Very good. Thank
8-0.
you.
Thank you guys for your support.
All right, so that concludes the informal appearances. We have no waiver requests this month. I think that's the first time
We have no
in my
waiver
service
requests.
that there were no waiver requests. All right, so with those 2 items done, we move on to Ms. Brittany and the education report.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am excited to be presenting the education report today. On pages 1 through 8, you will find the 24 candidates labeled DI 1 through DI 24, who have applied to be certified Trek instructors. The instructors presented today have met the qualification for instructors as listed in Trek Rule 1260-05-.04.
Thank you, Ms. Brittany. Are there any instructor applicants that commissioners wish to discuss further? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Torbett to approve instructor applications DI-1 through DI-24. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Bagley. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. On to the courses.
Next, on pages 9 through 27 and on supplement number 1, you will find the total of 94 courses labeled D1 through D92 and DS1 and DS2 that providers have applied for your approval to offer continuing education credit hours to licensees. All courses presented today have met the requirements set forth by Trek Rule 1260-05-.03. And as you will see, each course has been assigned to one of the 17 subject categories as mentioned in Trek Rule 1260-05-.03, Section 5A. I would also like to call out and mention that Ms. Monica Dunn is here today in the audience, and her courses are listed D23 through D27. She is a principal broker and looking to open her own real estate school. So thank you so much for being here today.
Commissioners, are there any courses either on the initial report D1 through D92 or in the supplement DS1 to DS2 that you would like to pull for further discussion? Hearing none, we're going to, I guess we'll vote once and pass these en bloc if we want to do it that way. So is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept all recommendations.
There's a motion by Commissioner Smith to approve courses D1 through D92 and DS1 through DS2. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Commissioners and Brittany. Any other?
Just
part of your
lastly, on page 28, you'll find the exam snapshot for all exam types for the pass-fail rates of the months of October and November. And then on pages 29 through 42, you'll find the more detailed monthly reports for each exam with the breakdown of the pass-fail rates by pre-licensing provider. And if there are no further questions, that concludes my report.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Brittany? Hearing none. Thank you. Next, I got the Bill Toon Award.
Yes, in accordance with commission policy, the Tennessee Real Estate Commission invites commission members and staff to submit nominations for the William C. Bill Toon Jr. Award for Excellence in Education. This award was established in remembrance of William C. Bill Toon Jr. and is intended to recognize individuals who exemplify the highest standards of professionalism, dedication, and service in real estate education. Nominations may be submitted by commission members or TREC staff. While it is suggested that nominees possess a minimum of 10 years of experience in real estate profession or real estate education programming, at least 5 years of experience in real estate education where applicable, these criteria are not mandatory. Nominators are encouraged to evaluate whether a nominee reflects the spirit and ideals of the award through their contribution and commitment to excellence in real estate education. The Commission retains the sole discretion to determine whether a satisfactory nominee has been invited and may elect not to confer the award in any given year. Individuals who have previously received the award are not eligible for renomination. Commission members and TREC staff are encouraged to consider qualified individuals whose service and leadership have a meaningful and lasting impact on real estate education. And at this time, we are opening the floor for nominations for that award.
Commissioners, any candidates or nominees for the Bill Toon Award?
I would like to nominate DJ Ferris for that award.
Commissioner Smith is made a motion to nominate former Commissioner DJ Ferris for the Bill Toon Award. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Rampy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Any other, do we do one nominee? Is that it?
Yes.
Just one? Okay.
Yes.
So that concludes that part
Thank you.
of the
I'm-
agenda.
I'm sure he will be very pleased if he is watching.
Ms. Baker, it's time for your report.
All righty, one moment, please.
When you are ready.
Before you on your iPads is the Executive Director's Report. I have a few updates for you all, unless you have any questions about the report itself. If there are no questions, I'll go into the updates. I am pleased to announce Tennessee has received a board appointment and several committee appointments for Arello. Anna Matlock was selected to serve on the nominating committee for Arello next year. Kim Cooper was selected to serve on the Law and Regulation Committee for Arello next year. And Brittany was selected to serve on the Program Committee as well as the Education Committee. And lastly, I will serve as a member of the Board of Directors, as well as the Job Task Analysis Task Force and the Education Accreditation Committee. Are there any questions in reference to board and committee?
No, just echo what
Appointments.
Commissioner Smith said. Congratulations.
Oh, thank
Or condolences, depending on your opinion.
It's a good thing for Tennessee. Arello's mid-year meeting in Louisville, Kentucky is April 14th through 16th. This year's experience is designed for real estate regulators, leaders, and affiliate members who want to engage deeply in meaningful collaboratory efforts and shape the future of regulatory excellence. Are there any commissioners interested in attending the mid-year meeting in Louisville, Kentucky, April 14th through 16th? Hearing none, I shall move on to my next update. Tennessee Realtors is hosting a Excel Summit, and you will find an invitation for commission members to speak on Tuesday, February 17th at 1 p.m. So it would be immediately following the commission meeting. Are there any commissioners that would like to join Anna and I for that panel discussion at the Tennessee Realtors Tennessee Excellence Summit in February?
I'll be there.
Okay, so I have Commissioner Smith and Gahn and Tucker. Are there others? Okay, Chair Diaz.
I may.
Okay, and I will put an asterisk by your name, Commissioner Rampy. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Lastly, I would like to give a staff update every year. Every December, since I've been in this role, I've kind of given an update on what the TREC team has been doing, so I want to take a point of professional privilege in order to do that. From January 1st through December 15th, TREC has processed over 29,770 initial applications, renewal applications, and transfer applications. We have also processed 45,280 voice and non-voice tickets. Our weekly customer satisfaction rating often exceeds over 94%. As of November 15th, we have opened 171 audits and closed 164 of those audits with an average processing time of 17.8 days. Approximately 19.9% of the audits had a finding that ranged from no response to unlicensed activity to commingling of funds. I am pleased to be here today with the TREC team with the support of our customer service centers, complaints office, legal division, and many others across TDCI. This group works every day to ensure that Tennessee real estate licensees receive excellent service and that consumers have the resources they need. If I can have my team members rise, including Carol, who works in our legal division. Are y'all rising? TDCI's mission is protecting Tennesseans and empowering professionals, and I'm honored to do that work alongside such dedicated team members who approach their roles with professionalism and grace. Their commitment makes our mission possible, and this has been a great year. Please join me in giving them a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you, you guys. And that concludes my report if there are no questions.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
It seems like, I don't know, it was maybe a couple of meetings ago, you were talking about like trying to clear out some, I don't want to use the word cold cases, but a backlog. Is that kind of still going on, or is it?
That is still going on. We are focusing on those cases that can be heard by an ALJ alone, which is an administrative law judge. Just last week or the week before, we presented a case for unlicensed activity. So we are moving through those cases slowly but surely.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Baker? Hearing none, we are now at the public comment period. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to speak? Hearing none, we are closing the public comment period. All right, commissioners, we ready for the rulemaking? We want to get to it? All right, let's go ahead and do the rulemaking. Ms. Matlock, is that you? Good times. All right, let's go.
Hello. Okay. This rulemaking hearing is called to order. My name is Anna Matlock. I serve as an Associate General Counsel in the Department of Commerce and Insurance, Division of Regulatory Boards, and I represent the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. Would the agency representatives who are present introduce themselves for the record?
My name is Denise Baker. I'm the Executive Director of the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. We'll begin with Mr. Rampey, if you all could go around and introduce yourselves.
Wyatt Rampey.
Steve Quinn.
Joan Smith.
Jeff Diaz.
Joe Begley.
Kathy Tucker.
Mike Gahn.
Today is Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. This rulemaking hearing is taking place pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated Section 4-5-204 in Conference Room 1A, Davy Crockett Tower, 500 Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, and also available by electronic means via online streaming and WebEx webinars with links to join located on the Commission's website, www.tn.gov/regboard/trek/meetings.html. On this page, the link for access to this rulemaking hearing via WebEx webinars can be found in the chart located in the middle of the page in the row with the date 12/17/2025 in the location column under the words Davy Crockett Tower, 500 James Robertson Parkway, Conference Room 1A, Nashville, Tennessee, labeled Connect. The purpose of this rulemaking hearing is to solicit comments on the rule amendments to the rules and regulations of the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. The proposed rules amend certain requirements for reinstatement of expired licenses, including those licensees in retirement, as required by the General Assembly's amendments to Tennessee Code Annotated Sections 62-13-318 and 62-13-319. Specifically, the rule amendments set the statutorily permissible penalty schedule for those impacted expired licensees and clarify the requirements for reinstatement, including those for continuing education. Lastly, the rules include a clerical update of a citation reference for applications for examinations. A rule is defined as an agency statement of general applicability that implements or prescribes law or policy that describes the procedures or practice requirements of the agency. Proposed rules are filed with the Office of the Secretary of State. Notice is given to the public for comment, and a rulemaking hearing is held. Upon conclusion of the hearing and adoption of the proposed rules, the rules are forwarded to the Attorney General's office for the review of legality. If approved, they are filed with the Secretary of State, which is responsible for publication, and the Government Operations Committee of the General Assembly. The rules must stay in the Secretary of State's office for 90 days, then end of which time will be the effective date. Please listen carefully. Those members of the public wishing to speak and appearing in person should place their name on the sign-in sheet on the podium to my right. Oral comments will only be accepted by those who have written their name on the sign-in sheet. Is there anyone else that desires to offer oral comments but has not written their name on the sign-in sheet? Seeing that there are none, for those attending this hearing in person, I would call your attention to the table to the podium again to my right. On the podium, you will find red line copies of the rule amendments addressed in today's hearing. The notice of rulemaking hearing included the entire text of the proposed rules and were published on the Tennessee Administrative Register on September 23rd, 2025. Ms. Baker, what additional notice was given to the affected individuals or groups?
Information for the time and location of the hearing was placed on the commission website, and an e-notify was sent to all licensees signed up for the commission system on September 26, 2025.
As the agency hears public comment on the proposed rules, I, as moderator, reserve the right to limit such comments if they become repetitive. Please limit your comments accordingly. Initially, upon filing, the commission filed certain amendments to the rules. However, upon filing, 2 amendments to the rules were made. The first change is a clerical update to the Tennessee Comprehensive Rules and Regulations 1260-01-.014, following the promulgation of the Commission's retrospective rule review. The second change includes language providing further clarification of reinstatement requirements for an expired license of those persons that failed to complete their broker post-continuing education 120 hours in real estate, as required by Tennessee Code Annotated Section 62-13-303. As required, I will summarize the original substance of the proposed rules filed on September 23rd, 2025 on the Notice of Rulemaking Hearing Filing Form SS-7039. Rule 1260-01-.21, reinstatement of an expired license of a broker, affiliate broker, timeshare salesperson, or acquisition agent, paragraph 2, subparagraph A, part 2, subpart I 2, is amended by deleting the language but within 1 year. Rule 1260-01-.21, reinstatement of an expired license of a broker, affiliate broker, a timeshare salesperson, or acquisition agent. Paragraph 2, subparagraph A, part 3, is amended by adding the language not to exceed 12 months. Rule 1260-01-.21, reinstatement of an expired license of a broker, affiliate broker, timeshare salesperson, or acquisition agent. Paragraph 2 is amended by creating a new subparagraph C. Rule 1260-01-.21, reinstatement of an expired license of a broker, affiliate broker, timeshare salesperson, or acquisition agent. Paragraph 3 is amended by deleting the text in its entirety and substituting instead new language. Rule 1260-05-.12, continuing education. Paragraph 3 is amended by deleting the language of subparagraphs 3A and 3B in their entirety and substituting instead language. Rule 1260-05-.12, continuing education, is amended by creating new paragraphs 5 and 6. As mentioned previously, today I'm presenting amendments to the originally filed rules. I will now summarize the proposed amendments to the rules to be included in the rulemaking package for the Tennessee Real Estate Commission's edits to amendments following passage of the Less is More Act. Rule 1260-01-.01, applications for examinations, paragraph 4, is amended by deleting the text, notwithstanding the provisions of paragraph 4 of this rule. Rule 1260-01-.21, reinstatement of an expired license of a broker, affiliate broker, timeshare salesperson, or acquisition agent, paragraph 2, is amended by creating a new subparagraph D. Ms. Baker, were any written comments received by the Commission Office for the rule amendments that were not forwarded to me prior to today's hearing?
No.
I received no written comments via email prior to this hearing. I will now solicit comments from individuals present at today's meeting. Seeing that there are no individuals signed up, this now concludes the comment period for this rulemaking package. Lastly, there are several measures I will read into the record as required by Tennessee Code Annotated Section 4-5-222. All voting will be conducted by roll call. First, I will need a motion to adopt the hearing rules language as presented.
I have a motion by Commissioner Torbett, seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?
All voting will be conducted by roll call. I just want to bring that up again.
We try to be quick.
Luckily, we know how each of you all are about to vote. Chair Diaz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Moffitt, Commissioner Begley,
Yes.
Commissioner Torbett,
Yes.
Commissioner Gwynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rampy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gahn.
Yes.
Next, I will read the Regulatory Flexibility Addendum. Pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated Sections 4-5401 through 4-5404, prior to initiating the rulemaking process, all agencies shall conduct a review of whether a proposed rule or rule affects small business. Prompt 1. The type or types of small business and an identification and estimate of the number of small businesses subject to the rule being proposed that would bear the cost of or directly benefit from the rule being proposed. Response 1. The Commission does not foresee small businesses bearing significant costs to comply with the rule amendments. While some of the Commission's licensees are small businesses, these rule amendments will apply to the impacted licensees, will apply equally to the impacted licensees. The cost of compliance, if there is any, will be minimal. Prompt 2, the projected reporting, record-keeping, or other administrative costs required for compliance with the rule being proposed, including the type of professional skills necessary for preparation of the report or record. Response 2, the Commission does not foresee a cost for the administration and enforcement of these rules. Prompt 3, a statement of the probable effect on impacted small businesses and consumers. Response 3, the Commission does not foresee a significant impact on small businesses with these rule amendments. While some licensees are small businesses, these rule amendments apply to all impacted licensees within the industry equally. Prompt 4, a description of any less burdensome, less intrusive, or less costly alternative methods of achieving the purpose and objectives of the rule being proposed that may exist, and to what extent the alternative means might be less burdensome to small business. Response 4, the Commission knows of no other less restrictive or burdensome means than through the promulgation of these rules as amended. Prompt 5, a comparison of the rule being proposed with any federal or state counterparts. And response 5, rules and regulations for the real estate industry vary across the country. However, the rule amendments may be like current or proposed rules and regulations in other state-level regulating jurisdictions. The Commission is unaware of any similar or existing proposed federal rules. Prompt 6, analysis of the effect of the possible exemption of small businesses from all or any part of the requirements contained in the rule being proposed. Response 6, the Commission does not foresee the need for a possible small business exemption of the requirements in the proposed rules. The rule amendments apply equally to all impacted real estate licensees in the industry, regardless of the size of their business. Therefore, the Commission does not see a disparate impact on small businesses. Therefore, an exemption for small businesses would not be beneficial. I will now need a motion to adopt the Regulatory Flexibility Addendum.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gwynn to adopt the Regulatory Flexibility Addendum. Is there a second? seconded by Commissioner Smith. Ms. Baker, please call the roll.
Chair Diaz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Moffitt, Commissioner Begley,
Yes.
Commissioner Torbett,
Yes.
Commissioner Gwynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rampy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gahn.
Yes.
We have 8 yeses.
I will now read the impact on local government statement pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated Section 4-5228. Response: the Tennessee Real Estate Commission foresees no impact on any local governments. I will now need a motion to adopt the impact on local government statement.
I'll make a motion to accept the impact on local government.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bagley to accept the impact on local government. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Ms. Baker, please call the roll.
Chair Diaz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Moffitt, Commissioner Begley,
Yes.
Commissioner Torbett, Commissioner Gwynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rampy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gahn.
Yes.
We have 8 yeses.
I will now read the answers to the questions required by the Joint Government Operations Committee. All agencies upon filing a rule must also submit the following pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated Section 4-5-226I1. A brief summary of the rule and a description of all relevant changes and previous regulations effectuated by such rule. Response: the proposed rules amend certain requirements for reinstatement of expired licenses, including those licensees in retirement as required by the General Assembly's amendments to Tennessee Code annotated Section 62-13-318 and 6213-319. Specifically, the rule amendments set the statutorily permissible penalty schedule for those impacted expired licensees and clarify the requirements for reinstatement, including those for continuing education. Lastly, the rules include a clerical update of a citation reference for applications for examinations. B, a citation to and brief description of any federal law or regulation or any state law or regulation mandating promulgation of such rule or establishing guidelines relevant thereto. Response: the rule amendments are to comply with Public Chapters 122 and 524, signed into law by Governor Bill Lee on April 3rd, 2025, and May 21st, 2025, respectively. These amendments are necessary to reflect the statutory amendments passed by the General Assembly. There are no known federal or state laws or regulations mandating the promulgation of these amendments. No known other state laws or regulations. C, identification of persons, organizations, corporations, or governmental entities most directly affected by this rule and whether those persons, organizations, corporations, or governmental entities urge adoption or rejection of this rule. Response: the rule amendments affect current and future licensees. Proponents of the rule amendments include current and future licensees, as these amendments positively impact those within the industry. As most of the rule amendments impact a small and specific segment of licensees, the Commission does not foresee a segment of opponents to the amendments. D, identification of any opinions of the Attorney General and Reporter or any judicial ruling that directly relates to the rule or the necessity to promulgate the rule. Response: there are no known opinions of the Attorney General and Reporter or any judicial ruling that directly relates to the rule or the necessity to promulgate the rule. E, an estimate of the probable increase or decrease in state and local government revenues and expenditures, if any, resulting from the promulgation of this rule, and assumptions and reasoning upon which the estimate is based. An agency shall not state the fiscal impact is minimal if the fiscal impact is more than 2% of the agency's annual budget or $500,000, whichever is less. Response: there is no foreseeable probable increase or decrease in the state and local government revenues and expenditures. F, identification of the appropriate agency representative or representatives possessing substantial knowledge and understanding of the rule. Response: Anna D. Matlock, Associate General Counsel for the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. Denise Baker, Executive Director for the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. Reed Witcher, Assistant Commissioner for Regulatory Boards Division. G, identification of the appropriate agency representative or representatives who will explain the rule at a scheduled meeting of the committees. Response: Anna Matlock, Denise Baker, and Reed Witcher. H, office address, telephone number, and email address of the agency representative or representatives who will explain the rule at a scheduled meeting of the committees. Response, the contact information for Anna Matlock, Denise Baker, and Reed Witcher. I, any additional information relevant to the rule proposed for continuation that the committee requests. Response, not applicable. I will now need a motion to adopt the additional information for the Joint Government Operations Committee.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Ms. Smith makes a motion to adopt the additional information for the Joint Committee. Seconded by Commissioner Gwynn. Ms. Baker, please call the roll.
Chair Diaz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Moffitt, Commissioner Begley,
Yes.
Commissioner Torbett,
Yes.
Commissioner Gwynn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rampy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucker,
Yes.
and Commissioner Gahn.
Yes.
We have 8 yeses.
That concludes this rulemaking hearing. Following this hearing, the rules will be put on rulemaking filing form SS 7039, submitted to the Governor's Office for final review, and then submitted to the Attorney General's Office for review and approval. Once the Attorney General's signature is obtained, these are filed with the Secretary of State and generally become effective 90 days from the date of filing after receiving a positive recommendation from the Joint Government Operations Committee. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Ms. Matlock. The next item on the agenda is the advisory private letter ruling. Is that you also, Ms. Matlock?
Yes.
All right. When you are ready.
Okay, I think you have a copy of this on your iPads. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was last year. There was a statute that was passed that required the Department of Commerce and Insurance to provide advisory private letter rulings to individuals that request a ruling related to areas in which we regulate. So these advisory private letter rulings are only applied to the person that it has been requested before and has no precedential value for any other inquiry or future contested case that comes before the state entity or any such program. Also, any dispute regarding a private letter ruling may be resolved pursuant to declaratory order provisions of Tennessee Code Annotated Section 4-5-223. So these are only available to individuals that are licensed by whatever board or entity that they're provided before. And since this is our first one that's been presented, essentially we have a request that has been made by an attorney on behalf of their client. And I've presented that to you today. Essentially, what I've done is I've drafted a copy of what I believe the ruling should be from a commission. However, you're not held to any of that. We can amend it as required. So what I'll do is I'm going to just read the submitted proposal from the individual, and then we'll have a discussion related to it. Yes. It's not on your iPads? Okay.
Let's do this. If we can take a recess, we will get you all copies of this opinion, and then we will revisit this conversation after the recess. Does that work for you all?
Okay.
It is 3 pages.
How much time do y'all need to bring that together?
Give me 10 minutes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll go into recess. We'll come back at 9:35.
Thank you kindly.
We're in recess.
We'll begin in a few minutes. We're having some technical issues, so just in a few more minutes, please. Chair Diaz, if you would like to recall the meeting back to order.
This meeting is being recorded.
I note the time as being 9:36 a.m., and I am calling the meeting back into order. When we adjourned initially, we were getting ready to discuss the advisory private letter ruling. Ms. Matlock was doing her presentation. Ms. Matlock, please continue.
Okay, Act 2. So as I stated before, I'm going to read through this submitted proposal and then give everyone like a couple of minutes just to read through what had been provided. Was this in your materials that was sent to you? Okay, great. I'll go ahead and read through that, through this, and then give you a couple of minutes to read through the analysis. The submitted proposal. Business model, we are a licensed real estate firm operating exclusively in the rental market. We do not engage in residential sales or property management. Our firm partners with professionally managed apartment communities in Nashville to connect them with qualified renters. We do not charge the potential renter customers. Our compensation comes directly from the apartment communities we partner with. We do not maintain an escrow account or negotiate lease terms on behalf of clients. Proposed referral program. We would like to offer a $50 Amazon gift card to referring individuals, some of whom are presumably unlicensed, refer a renter/customer that successfully leases an apartment through our company. When one of our agents receive a referral from such individual, they submit a gift card request through an internal link. This triggers a $50 gift card to be sent to the referrer. $25 is covered by our company, and the remaining $25 is deducted from the agent's future commission. The company pays the full amount upfront until the agent receives a commission payment in the future. Advertising practices, we would like to publicly advertise the referral program on our company website or social media channels if approved. Also, agents may occasionally promote it independently, such as when prospective leasing agents at apartment communities or within their personal networks through flyers or social posts. So I have provided a copy for you guys, the applicable law and legal analysis, and a conclusion. Give you a couple of minutes to read through that, and then we can have a discussion about the referral program.
Just going to be silent for a minute as we read through this. Thank you.
have a question.
Commissioner Smith.
Just so I understand, so the gift card says that it's from the real estate company, is that correct? Is that what I'm reading?
Yes, that's correct. It's going to be coming from the business, and the amount is going to be deducted from the company, 25 from the company, and then $25 from the future commission.
But
of
it really
the
doesn't matter
individual.
where the money came from, it's how it's being delivered, is that correct?
I agree and disagree. Of course, the gift card method, matters because we just promulgated rules that say gift cards are only permissible in 2 different specific instances.
Right.
But we also generally do not, we have the statutory provision that says we don't provide cash. So if that information, like even if it was given to them via check, I don't think it would be permissible either way.
Would or would not?
Would not. Yes.
Who's the client?
The client is a real estate firm, a licensed firm.
And you can't say the name?
I don't have the name of the firm.
okay.
I actually don't even have it, so. I just have the attorney that submitted the information to me.
If the apartment complexes individually gave a gift card for referral, would it fall under this, you think? Skip the management company?
Apartment complex itself depends, if it was licensed by us. If they were, not licensed by us, probably. But if this particular instance, they do have a license, the company does.
What I was saying is, so I manage apartments A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And I don't offer any referrals, but apartment complex C does run an ad that says, send a referral. I just wonder.
And you're managing that particular
Yeah, but I'm
apartment
not offering the
complex.
referral. I just wonder if the apartment complex by itself had a sign, we're giving a gift card for referrals or something. I don't know. I just asked.
So it's a good question. The way that I view it is that if the apartment complex is being managed by the real estate firm, then that would fall under probably your management in that particular instance. And so I don't really see there as a way that they could separate what's happening.
Just to continue on Joe's example, if the community in the apartment complex had like an HOA or a resident group, and they provided gift cards for new residents, is it the question of where's the money coming from at that point, or does it matter?
So we don't regulate community groups or HOAs, so I don't care what they do.
Well, you're like.
Is the defining point here, the very first line, we are a licensed real estate firm, and therefore they cannot?
Right,
Period.
so they're a
Right.
licensed real estate firm. And also, if they were unlicensed, we wouldn't be looking at this because the advisory private rulings are only available to those individuals that are licensed with us. And so if they were not a licensed real estate firm, I think that we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'm kind of confused when I was reading it myself, like why the licensed real estate firm is even involved in this particular situation. But I think based upon that and the way that it's set up, that it is not permissible.
So, go ahead.
If they weren't licensed, we would be looking at them for unlicensed real estate activity, right?
For property management, possibly. It just really, it really depends on, so if the apartment complexes are individually owned, then it's not gonna be considered property management. I've been talking about property management a lot this week, so I'm a little triggered. So, essentially, what we do, property management is not explicitly outlined in the statute as title property management. However, if you look at the definition of broker specifically, 6213-102-4B, it outlines what property managers do. And so if you are managing a property that you do not own, then that is going to be considered property management and you need a license for that. However, there are two different exemptions that fall in the property management situation. We've got 6213-104E, which talks about the exemptions for apartment managers. So those are the persons that are showing you apartments and everything, and doing those things, but those individuals are not allowed to negotiate leases or negotiate security deposits, because then that person would then be required to be licensed. And then we have 6213-104F, which talks about the corporate exemption. And so the corporate exemption, that's really used for our corporate entities like Walmart, Target, or HCA, those individuals that buy and sell real estate tangential to what they normally do in their regular work. So the person that is responsible for this would maybe be like an example of like a VP of real estate, and that person's job is not dependent upon the amount of real estate that they buy and sell. So they're not receiving any commission or any type of thing. So if they're a corporate entity, you know, that owns the property, which apartment complexes I don't think would fall into that situation because that is literally all they do. And, but if it's a property like that's, or if it's a residential manager, that would not be required. So the apartment complexes themselves, you know, those individuals are not required to be licensed, but the persons that manage them over it, that are negotiate the leases and security deposits, are required to be licensed. And then, of course, like I was stating before, our individuals that are licensed are not allowed to provide any form of cash that's like, you know, outside of a commission, like cash rebates, cash gifts related to a real estate transaction. And so, and we also have notoriously interpreted gift cards to be considered the same as cash, but now it's also in rule that says gift cards are only permissible when it's being given as a closing gift or it is being used for a broker open house. So none of those situations fall into the submitted proposal that's been provided here today. And so that's why I think in the short of it, the answer would be no.
So if they were to offer the gift card after a lease has been signed
If it was like, if
to
it
the
was
new resident as a gift
possibly,
for
yes.
signing the lease, then they
Right, but that's
maybe-
like, that's not the
That's not this situation.
That's not the situation that we have before us.
Yeah, this is for referrals.
Yes.
So I want to move on from this as much as everybody, but I have to ask this one question.
Okay.
From what you just said, if everybody was salary-based and there was no commission incentives, does that make it legal?
For salary based,
mean, like-
who is salary based?
Well, I mean, like, if I pay a management company $5,000 a month to management,
Yes.
to manage this department, it doesn't matter if they lease one apartment or all 100 apartments.
Right.
And then the salesperson that's sitting there is not commission-based. They get $2,000 a month to sit there. Would gift cards be acceptable then? Because there's really no incentive on the commission side.
I still don't think so. If the management company is still licensed with us, then the answer is no.
Okay.
This is talking about an individual.
This is talking about it's a real estate firm that we're
Right.
talking about that's offering
An advertisement. That says,
And the
that
real
says,
estate-
Anna, if you'll bring me someone that's gonna rent, I'm gonna give you $50.
So yeah, my firm, Anna Matlock LLC,
Yes.
we are offering $50 Amazon gift cards for referrals to Anna Matlock Apartment Complex Luxury Edition, because obviously.
Of course.
Then that would be a problem.
So you need us to make a motion and vote to ratify this letter?
Yes, but I just want to make sure that, like, with the way that advisory private rulings are supposed to be signed up, like the way that is set up is that if this were to happen, I would draft this opinion and you all would review it. That doesn't mean that anything that I've written has to stay that way. Like if you didn't like a specific sentence, you wanted something to be changed, of course that can be changed here or there. It's ultimately your decision. I'm just essentially providing you like the groundwork for it, of what I think my legal basis and everything is. Because of course this is coming from you as a commission. So I just want to make sure that everything that I've written so far in the letter, we're okay with. I think so based upon the conversation that we've had, but I just want to make sure. But I will need eventually a motion, and then at the end, I'll have Chair Diaz sign it, and then I'll send it back to Mr. Scholler.
Commissioners, do we want to wordsmith this or quibble over verbiage? Please don't.
Because it's perfect, right? That's the reason, not because we want to abdicate our duties.
And I know Todd. Yeah.
Chat GPT, I would never, and it is not permitted. These words came from my mind.
I will say that Anna does have a degree in English in addition to her law degree.
So when I say it is perfect, I do actually mean that. Actually, there could be an error somewhere, but I doubt it.
I'm going to make a motion that we accept your letter as written regarding the advisory private letter ruling.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Smith to adopt this letter, this advisory private letter ruling as written, seconded by Commissioner Rampy. Any further discussion?
Can we fix a couple of these errors?
All right. Hearing no further discussion on the motion, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. You want to just sign this one?
I'll get it from you at the end of the meeting. I have a copy that's not front and back.
She wants me to wait. Okay. All right, so next we have the legal report. And that's going to also be Ms. Matlock and, okay. All right. In advance of the meeting, commissioners are provided with a narrative on the legal report for the cases to be considered at the meeting. Commissioners are then have the privilege or the opportunity to pull certain cases from this list for further discussion. The cases that commissioners have submitted in advance to be pulled are the following. Cases 4, 6, 14, 16, 18, 24, 26, 29, 41, 58, I'm sorry, 50, 48, 53, 54, 56, 65, 68, 76, 77, 82, 107, 117, 123, and 126. We did get a supplemental this morning. Those are cases 144 through cases 162. Commissioners, have you had an opportunity to read through those cases? And do you wish to pull any of those for further discussion?
I think we should probably just take that separately if possible. I don't, if that's okay with you.
Okay, so the cases that we're going to be voting on are going to be cases 1 through 143, minus those that have been read into the record for further discussion. Is there a motion to accept council's recommendation on those cases?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Torbett, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 4. So this is an administrative open complaint. And the council's recommendation was to assess a civil penalty of $1,000 for compliance with an audit. And I was thinking, well, I guess the questions I have, is there any affiliates?
Yes, there are 5 affiliates with the firm and 1 principal broker.
Okay. And this is a complaint against the firm?
That's correct.
So I'm wondering if we should file the complaint against the broker or just go ahead and,
I think it would be fine to leave even if it's an audit finding, since we do audit the firms themselves, leave it with the firm. But if you have an issue with it, like, since the principal broker would typically be the person that would answer the audit, we could administratively open a complaint against that person if you would like. I think that might be kind of what you're thinking, possibly.
well, and I scratched out revoke on my notes and then I thought about the affiliates. So I don't know if I feel as good about that, but I don't know. Commissioners, thoughts?
Can we add a failure to reply? Or does this encompass failure to reply?
So 6213.312D, that is the provision that gives the executive director the ability to audit, and essentially that is failure to comply with the audit.
But not a failure to reply to correspondence from Trek.
So the audit, it would be considered the
Okay.
correspondence with Trek, and since this was an administratively open complaint, it was referred directly to the legal division and not sent to them for response, because we probably also wouldn't get one.
So if we accept this penalty like it is
Yes.
it pretty much case closed at that point? Or are they going to proceed to send an auditor in person, or?
No, so it states that there's a civil penalty for $1,000, but also we wouldn't accept that $1,000 unless they also complied with the audit within the 90 days of the execution of the consent order. So for example, if the person decided to sign it, they pay us the $1,000 within 90 days. We don't have a copy of the audit. Like an audit, we usually put information in our consent orders that tell individuals, if you fail to comply with any portion of this consent order, your license will either be suspended or revoked. So then at that point, that's where what the issue with the license would be.
If we don't hear from them within 91 days, their license will be suspended or revoked.
If they sign the consent order.
What if they
But
don't?
if they don't, then we're going to go to hearing for failure to respond to the audit. So they'll have 30 days to respond to the consent order, which would give them a $1,000 civil penalty, and then they would also have to comply within an audit within 90 days. So if we don't receive a response after 30 days, then we would file a notice of hearing and charges and proceed to hearing. But then after the execution of the consent order, they have 90 days to comply with the audit. After that, if they were to execute this consent order on day 91, their license would either be, I'm pretty sure it's revoked upon failure to comply with the consent order.
So if they don't still comply with this, we can't just revoke their license without giving them a chance to go to a hearing, correct?
Correct.
If they continue to stonewall, though, it's ultimately going to happen, right?
Right. I mean, well, it depends on whatever the decision is of the commission at
Right.
the hearing, but at the hearing, at that opportunity, we could request revocation. We're not held to whatever is written in the consent order.
So I guess the question is, do we just want to accept council's recommendation as it is, or add an administratively open complaint for the principal broker? Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept it as is and open up a complaint against the broker.
I have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept council's recommendation to assess a $1,000 civil penalty for failure to comply with an audit request, but to also administratively open a complaint against the principal broker. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 6. So this one I pulled, I think, Joan, you pulled this one too?
I did.
Okay. So this one, the respondent seems to assert that because the listing was pulled off of the MLS, that negates a listing agreement. And my thought is that it doesn't. But I just wanted to,
I personally don't think so, as two individuals enter a contract
Right.
for a listing agreement. So I know one of the questions that Commissioner Smith had was there a notification of withdrawal signed by the seller? I don't have a copy of that in the file, and I also don't have a copy of the mutual release.
Did we have a copy of the MLS rule that says that?
MLS, we don't regulate MLS, so I don't have anything related to the MLS there. But if
So the respondent is saying that their particular MLS says if a listing is withdrawn, it's considered canceled. And so do we know that that's true?
I don't know, but I'm going to defer to the respondent in this particular instance because I would hope they would not lie to the commission in that particular instance. But however, any rules that are governed by the specific MLS don't really matter here.
That's my concern, and I hear what you're saying, Mike, but I feel like there should have been records of notification of withdrawal, a mutual release, something along that line, other than just he said, she said, I'm taking it out. So I think we would be remiss if we didn't at least send a letter of warning.
Let me look at the listing agreement really quickly to see if there's an expiration date for the listing agreement.
so in the narrative, it says that complainant's listing agreement did not expire until September 14th, 2025.
Okay, so at the time of this complaint that it was open, the listing agreement was still active.
Yeah, Commissioner Smith, you mentioned a letter of warning. Do you want to make that a motion?
I make a motion that we send a letter of warning,
Is that
skill and care.
reasonable skill and care?
Second.
So Commissioner Smith made a motion to send a letter of warning to respondent, cautioning them to exercise reasonable skill and care, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion on case number 6? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 14. This one I just wanted to make sure I understood kind of the scorecard of the players.
So the former designated agent is not the respondent in this particular case. The respondent is a vacation lodging service. It's another party.
Okay.
And the additional firm that is listed here is not related to the respondent's firm. It's a separate firm.
Okay.
This is one I think I ask questions about anytime this comes up. So the respondent doesn't have a license anymore. The respondent didn't respond. There's really no way to get anything from this person unless they want an active license again, correct?
Way to get any information from the person?
Any, like the civil penalty, a response?
So the civil penalty at this-
There's no obligation for
yeah.
them to respond, really?
No, if your license is expired or you don't have a license with us, technically you don't have to respond. However, if you are doing regulated activity during that time period, it is then considered to be unlicensed activity because this person had an expired license at the time and they were doing vacation lodging service things.
I would like to add a failure to respond civil penalty. Can I do that?
Yes, you can. Is that a motion?
My motion is to add a $500 civil penalty for failure to respond in addition to the $1,000 civil penalty for unlicensed activity.
All right, so Commissioner Torbett makes the motion to accept council's recommendation to assess a $1,000 civil penalty for unlicensed activity and to add a $500 civil penalty for failure to respond for a total of $1,500. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously for case number 14. Case number 16 is me also. This one worries me because of the imputation of violating state and federal laws, RICO and RESPA. I don't know, the cynical side of me came out when I read this one, and I thought maybe it was a person or a group of people that are setting up shop somewhere, running as much business as they can illegally, and then when regulators get attention, get on their trail, they
just
shut
move.
down and move someplace else. So I was thinking we could do a close and flag, but I don't know how effective that would be. Do we have names? Do they,
We can close and flag it. I'll tell you, this complaint is against a person.
a person? Okay. I don't know, commissioners, what do you think? Close and flag or just go ahead and dismiss?
I make a motion, we close and flag.
I have a motion by Commissioner Smith to close and flag case number 16, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 18, Commissioner Smith.
Yes, I was concerned because the earnest money had not been released, and the respondent and their broker stopped responding to the complaint. So, and I see where you're suggesting a civil penalty of $1,000,
Kim.
but I wonder where the money is now.
So I don't know. I don't have an answer to the status of the earnest money because we don't have a response from the respondent in this particular case. So my understanding is at the time of the complaint, the individual had not received their earnest money. So there's no way for me to know where it is.
Did you have a copy of the contract?
I do believe so. Let me pull it up really quick.
I think it might say on there who's holding the earnest money. I was just curious if it was a title company or a real estate company.
Okay, let's see what they sent me. Sent Kim. I am Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hey. Okay, counter offer.
It's at the top of a page, I think.
I'm just looking real quick. Here, title company.
Okay.
So the insurance division regulates title companies. So if you would like to refer a matter to them,
I would like that.
we can do that.
Thank you.
Aren't you glad you came up with that?
I'm so glad I was smart today. They may not like me, but it worries me because money's out there that belongs to someone. And we
Okay.
need to know where that is.
So we'll have the complaint referred to the insurance division for the
So
that, and we'll
do you
list the
wanna-
title company there.
Is that a
If that's what
motion?
you like to do.
Does that need to be a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion that we refer this complaint to the insurance division, correct?
Yes. Do you still want to add the civil penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So Commissioner Smith's motion is to accept council's recommendation to assess a civil penalty of $1,000 for failure to respond and to refer this case to the Title Company Regulatory Board. Seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 24, Commissioner Smith.
That's me. Oh. I think that's the one where the respondent was giving out lockbox codes to people.
Right.
And my question is, we have a responsibility to our clients. So I'm concerned that the $500 civil penalty is not sufficient.
Make a motion.
Talk to me.
There is the option of a number between 500 and 1,000.
My number is 1,000.
Okay.
Is there more than one violation here?
We don't really know because, how many violate, but I make a recommendation that it's a $1,000 civil penalty.
Commissioner Smith makes a motion to change council's recommendation from a $500 civil penalty to a $1,000 civil penalty for failure to digitally exercise reasonable skill and care.
Okay, I'm hesitant here. I like the $1,000, but I'm thinking about education.
Okay.
Okay. What are we educating to the core? There's the core course.
I'm thinking a core call.
Okay.
There's
Core
also
call.
trace,
I'm sorry, or trace,
depending on
yes.
how, 6 hours versus 30.
Question. This is against an affiliate broker. Did their principal broker fail to supervise them?
Well, you're opening it up everywhere.
No, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
if the security and privacy is an important thing.
It is an important thing. So I'm okay with changing the recommendation to 1,000
Okay.
and a recommendation for the agent to do the trace course within, they can do it within 3 months, right?
We typically do 180.
We usually do 180, and I'll say the trace course is 30 hours. So
How many, 30?
30.
Well, let
So
me back up.
we can definitely do. I would prefer 180 over 3 months for that.
So you're suggesting not the trace do the core?
No, I'm just letting you know. It's 30 hours. So I would prefer to default to the 180.
Okay, I'm good with that, for the
Okay.
trace course. With that credit not going toward renewal of license.
What about the principal broker?
And open up a complaint against the principal broker.
Failure to supervise?
I like you, for failure to supervise. You know, to me, this is a big deal. When you're giving out codes to someone's house, whether it's empty or full of their belongings, it doesn't matter. But I think we have a responsibility to our clients to say who's going and coming and when they're coming and going.
I don't know if they got their chandeliers back.
I don't know.
Okay.
I want to make sure I understand your open motion.
Yeah, you want me to restate it?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So Commissioner Smith makes the motion to increase council's recommendation to assess a civil penalty of $1,000 for failure to exercise reasonable skill and care, to require the respondent to take the trace course within 180 days, and for that credit not to count towards their continuing education, and to also administratively open a complaint against the principal broker for failure to supervise. Is there a second?
No seconds.
Is there
May I discuss this?
Sure.
Sure.
I have a hard time, honestly, with the failure to supervise. I do agree there is a duty to supervise, but that is an act an agent performs just on the spur of the moment. And I mean, I completely agree. That agent made a critical mistake. That should not have been done. But as a broker, I recognize that that's a very, very hard thing to police. But that's, so.
I would agree with you, Wyatt. You know, agents make mistakes all the time.
Yes.
Even though you train them and you do what you're supposed to do as a broker, you don't control what an agent decides to go on rogue and do. So I find it hard without knowing the circumstances of that broker and their training and what they do to pull them into this.
So is that an amendment to my motion, taking that off? I'm sorry.
It's okay. We don't have a second yet,
Oh,
so.
Okay. I'll
Last chance for a
change my
second. Well, hold on. Last chance for a second. Hearing none, that motion fails for lack of a second. Do you want to restate a
Now, I'm
motion?
going to restate my motion with everything except opening an administrative complaint against the broker.
Okay. You got that, Ms. Baker?
Yes, just for the record, that is a $1,000 penalty, civil penalty in the trace course within 180 days.
Yes.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
So a motion was made by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 26, that's both of us. I did. All right, this one, I don't have a problem with council's recommendation. I wanted to also add education to this one for the trace course. If Joan, you would make that a motion for me, please?
Sure. We would like to accept council's recommendation of
Will you speak
sorry.
on the record, please? Thank you.
Yes, accept council's recommendation of $500 civil penalty and add education of the trace course within 180 days, and those hours do not count toward education renewal licensing.
Is there a second? Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept council's recommendation of a $500 civil penalty, but to also add a trace course to be completed within 180 days, and for that, for that course not to count towards their continuing education, seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 29, Ms. Smith.
This one bothered me because it appears that an agent was shown property and another agent who lived in the neighborhood decided to come and be a part of that showing. Is that the way I read that?
I think so.
Well, I read it a couple of times.
I think that's right.
So,
Yes. Respondent who lives in their neighborhood appeared uninvited
yes.
and began engaging with prospective buyers doing a scheduled showing of complainant's home.
No, they came to tell them about their house they had down the street. Yeah. You know,
I didn't know you had to be invited to a showing.
I think we need some education for respect. I do.
I'm going to send you back to your mama.
Yeah, so maybe whomever, education, will you see about us class on respecting one another?
There may be an ethics course, but I don't believe we have any courses per se on respect.
I don't think we don't have a course on
That
This is one of
sounds
those
like a
things where it's, we just
parenting
talked
fail.
about, where it's ethical and law. And sometimes ethical doesn't feel good to us, and this one did not feel good to me. So, I guess I accept council's recommendation.
Council's recommendation was to dismiss.
Can we send a little letter of warning? What would we warn them about?
Respect.
Unfortunately, there is not, well, actually, fortunately, because we would have so many complaints about lack of respect. We don't govern like professionalism and those matters. So,
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, so we have a motion to accept council's recommendation. Is there a second?
Who made that motion?
Commissioner Smith did.
Very good.
And
Who seconded?
Stacy seconded, I think.
I think I did.
We'll just say Commissioner Torbett seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 29. Joan, that's you also.
We just did 20.
We did 29? I'm sorry. I'm behind. 41.
41,
That was,
again, 41.
Commissioner Smith, if you'll turn on your microphone, please.
I'm sorry?
Your microphone.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was concerned again about where the earnest money is. I'm just curious.
Let me take a look-see.
Okay. So we're giving a civil penalty for failure to respond.
Yeah, I don't know if we can really do anything else
Can we
until.
do anything else, or you just leave it alone?
Well,
You could open an audit, find out where the money is.
So the holder of the earnest money appears to be the real estate firm.
so this-
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept council's recommendation of $1,000 for failure to respond, but I would like to request an audit to determine where the earnest money is kept at this time.
All right, Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation of $1,000 civil penalty for failure to respond and to initiate an audit. Seconded by Commissioner Rampy. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 48. I pulled that one.
The question you had for me is no new allegations of misconduct, and I do not have any.
You do not have any?
No.
Okay. Okay. Council's recommendation was to dismiss. Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we accept council's recommendation on number 48.
Is there a second? I have a motion to accept council's recommendation on case number 48, seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 53. I pulled that one also.
The questions that you had were asking if the respondent, where are they licensed?
Yes.
They currently do not have a license. Their license is expired.
In the state of Tennessee, but not anywhere else either that you know of?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your
Their
knowledge.
license has been expired since 2020. But the firm that they were previously with is an active firm, but it has a different principal broker.
Okay. Council's recommendation in case number 53 was to dismiss. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept council's recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept council's recommendation to dismiss case number 53, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 54.
That's you.
That is me. So in the, that, I'm going to call it the header where you give us the license history, et cetera.
Yes.
There's a notation in there, expired, comma, active. And that's the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know what that means, expired and active.
It's insurance, right?
Yeah,
It's there means their license is expired, but they have active in E&O insurance.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
For example, if a license were to expire today, their E&O insurance, if they had a RICE policy, would be good
continue.
until June 30th of next year.
Okay.
okay.
But I did double check, and they're actually expired on the beginning of the year, so I'm not entirely sure why. It
Okay,
is
and
showing as
then-
active.
They also talk about a retirement request. Do we have a,
It was not. We did not receive the documents. Like it hasn't been processed because we don't have all of the requests, like the money or the form. So
Okay,
their
so-
license is still in expired status.
okay. Interesting. Okay.
You want me to make a motion?
Council's recommendation was to dismiss. Ms. Smith?
Yes. I move that I make a motion that we accept council's recommendation to dismiss on item number 54.
Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept council's recommendation to dismiss in case number 54, seconded by Commissioner Gwynn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 56, Commissioner Smith.
Yeah, I pulled this one again, and it's similar because this agent was using using homes that were listed, I'm assuming, for affairs, extramarital affairs. And, you know, we still don't have that class on respect, do we? But I sure did want to find out whose house so I could call that owner and say, turn on your cameras. So again, there's really nothing we can do, correct?
Well, they didn't respond, so
That's
council's
the only thing we
recommendation.
can do.
I will say your note did say
Yeah.
skill and care. So if you
Can
would
I
like
do
to
that?
add that as violation, you
Okay.
can.
Thank you for understanding what I wrote on that scratch pad.
I can read cursive. I'm one of those millennials that can.
Then I do want to send a letter, a warning regarding skill and care.
Well, we currently have a civil penalty
Civil
for
penalty.
failure to respond.
So, what's my option?
So if you like to issue.
56.
Issue a civil penalty for failure to respond, for reasonable skill and care, we
Okay.
can do that.
So I can do a penalty for failure to respond and a penalty for,
Yes.
that's what I want to do,
Okay, how much would you like to assess the civil penalty for?
500.
Okay.
So
It's cheaper than a hotel room.
if I can restate your motion.
Turn my thing off.
Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation to assess a civil penalty of $1,000 for failure to respond, and then also assess a civil penalty of $500 for failure to exercise reasonable skill and care on case number 56. Is there a second?
Nobody likes that.
Last chance. Chair determines that motion fails for lack of second. Floor is open for another motion.
I don't know what they did.
I'll make them.
Commissioner Gahn makes a motion to accept council's recommendation of $1,000 civil penalty for failure to respond, seconded by Commissioner Bagley. Any further discussion on this motion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 65. Joan, that's you also.
No, he said that by mistake.
That was an error.
Okay, those of you that manage, on the commission, that manage large offices, do you have a system in place that you know where all of your licenses are as far as the date of expiration or renewal? Because this is what this one is about, correct? That there were affiliates that were doing unlicensed activity, but the broker wasn't aware of it until an audit was done. I'm a small office, so I can keep up with my dates, but is that a problem? I guess I'm just open for discussion.
I mean, we see it all the time, so I would say it is a problem.
Yeah, and I would just also like to, I know that one of the reasons that we do have the commission up here is, and we have industry members, is for your experience in the industry and how other things work, but I know we talk about this often, but I would like to remember like the reason that you're actually here is for consumer protection. So whether something is difficult actually as a broker to do and practice versus what actually resulted from that is not really something we want to be thinking about, like the consumers, the individuals that are working unlicensed or the persons like in those type of instances. So I just like keep that in the forefront instead of like more of like, what would I do?
Just because everybody does it, doesn't make it right.
Because that doesn't make it right or okay.
I think there should be a civil penalty for this.
And I wasn't insinuating it was made it right. I
Oh,
was just
no,
saying
no,
that
no,
we
no.
see
I'm
it a
not
lot.
saying, I'm
We
not
see it a
saying
lot.
that. I just like based upon some of the conversations that we've had today. I just wanted to bring that back.
So, I mean, the unlicensed, the licensed or the unlicensed affiliates were discovered as part of an audit.
Right.
I mean, the statute or the rules, do they explicitly require that kind of maintenance to remove, unlike, like,
There's not like a specific rule that requires like maintenance of it, but if someone is like this particular instance, my understanding is like that person would be on the roster, and based upon the information that we received back from the auditor, it appears that person may be active in what they're doing. So that versus what their license status doesn't match, if that makes sense.
Do we still send letters to the brokers too about license going to expire? No?
I don't believe so.
Just to the agents?
No.
And the brokers don't have any way. Sorry, how did I know? The broker doesn't have any way, the agent has to send in their retired or whatever, and the only way we find out about it is if they're still showing up on our active roster with the state.
Right, we have brokers, though, that will submit like public records requests to us all the time to know the status of their licensees, to figure out whether that person is active or not. But also we have the public search function on the website where you can type in and see the status of your licensee at that time, too.
Does that have specific dates? Like you could put it in a spreadsheet and know when they're going to expire and when they're,
Right, so we can pull that information in one of the fields is like, when their license is originally issued and the expiration date, yes.
I'll make a motion. $1,000 to the broker, and mainly that's from the neither confirm or deny statement.
So in that particular instance, we're gonna need to open an administrative complaint because this complaint is against the real estate firm.
Okay, let's open a complaint against the broker, and we will file $1,000 to the firm.
so do you want to go ahead and dismiss this case against the firm?
No. I want a
Okay,
penalty of $1,000.
okay, and is that?
Open a complaint against the broker and open a complaint against each of the suspected unlicensed affiliates.
And is that $1,000 for unlicensed activity? What is the $1,000 for?
Unlicensed activity.
Okay.
Okay, so for case number 65, the motion is to change council's recommendation for $1,000 against the firm for unlicensed activity, to open up administrative complaints against the principal broker and the 4 affiliates, $1,000 each for unlicensed activity. Is that the motion?
So what'll happen is we'll just administratively open the complaints, and then they'll appear on the legal report, and then at that time, if you still decide to make the assessment of a civil penalty, that's when it will happen.
Currently, the 1,000 is just for the firm. Yeah, and then we're just opening up complaints against the other 5.
Okay.
Correct.
Does everybody understand the motion?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Okay, wait, let's get a second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Seth. Go ahead, Commissioner Gwynn.
So in the write-up, it says, the auditor alleged the firm's current principal broker would neither confirm nor deny whether the affiliates are still associated with the firm. The auditors suspect the firm is lying in unlicensed activity. So what did the auditor give you that made you write that? Is it an email from the auditor that said, I talked to Mr. So-and-so, and he said he would need, is like a verbal conversation or something in writing he got from him, or what was the evidence?
We request their roster and E&O insurance and their escrow accounts, and we compare their roster to.
That's my question, is how did the auditor know that this principal broker would neither confirm nor deny
That
the
was the
allegation?
response to the audit. They refused to confirm or deny.
So it was a no response?
It wasn't no response. Well, a response is a response. You can even say response, I can't confirm or deny. That's a response. That's not lack of response. But they're saying that they won't basically say that they've had these unlicensed folks on
I'm
their
just trying to get
roster.
at is, did the auditor specifically put him on the point and ask him a question, the person didn't respond to, or he said, I'm not going to respond, or he maybe
Typically, the auditor-
misunderstood the question, or
Typically,
what?
the auditor asked clarifying questions, and the response, to my knowledge, was that he couldn't confirm nor deny these particular agents being licensed or having an existing license at the time of the audit.
Okay.
But he did broker release all those agents.
He what?
He
He
broker
broker
released.
released all those agents.
Yeah. It's weird.
Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 68, Joan. This is the discrepancy between the bedrooms.
Yes, that's my thing. And again, I may be crossing the line of who I am, but, two things. We're given an opinion, this person was given an opinion saying you can't count that as a bedroom because so-and-so, without that being part of our, job. We have disclaimers, that say- I call it the not a form. I'm not a this, I'm not a that, I'm not a. But, so, I guess my concern here was, should we have a civil penalty along with a letter? Because we're giving advice to someone that we don't know whether or not it's correct. So maybe skill and care is involved here. Or am I crossing my line a little bit?
So in a letter, we can't require anyone to do anything. So in that letter, we would be telling them about 126002-125C, about that particular advertising provision, and to be aware of it. However, if you wanted, instead, you could assess, education or a civil penalty related to that provision.
I'm not sure.
We're on 68.
I'm not sure where my education would be.
Okay. I mean, instead of the other options, of course, we have, there's the letter, there's civil penalty, and then I don't think, we have suspension, revocation, those
No,
types of
no,
things.
I don't
That's
wanna do
obviously
that.
not
I don't want to do that.
there. But what
just
exactly is it that you're wanting to do?
What am I wanting to do? I think we are advising a client of something that we're not really sure that we've given them the correct information.
Okay, so we could add to the letter of warning to also tell them about reasonable skill and care, and to particularly talk about providing advice to individuals about, information that we don't know about.
That we're not qualified.
Yeah,
I like that.
okay.
Put that in a motion.
So let me try to do it. Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation to issue a letter of warning requiring listing information to be kept current and accurate, but to also add to caution the respondent to exercise reasonable skill and care. Is there a second? Is there a second to this motion? Seconded by Commissioner Gahn. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case 76. Take a break, Joan. I'll take this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to be quick. 76.
Yeah, because I pulled that one too.
You wrote about the sign on the wrong property?
I think that's what this one is, but he's gonna take it this time.
Good.
So council's recommendation was to dismiss. I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like an honest mistake. I didn't really.
I think this is where you pay a firm to put your signs out, and that firm or company or person they put the sign on the wrong property. and the property owner was upset because he had a for sale sign in the yard and their property wasn't for sale.
I would be upset personally.
I would be upset, although the respondent did go remove the sign as soon as they became aware of the issue. So my question, I guess, is when we pay these people like subs to go do so-and-so, so-and-so, I think it's the responsibility of who's doing that to be sure that you have told that person it's the third house on the right or, you know, or this one. But I also understand that sometimes those signs are put out on large parcels, farmlands, lots. So I can see where there might be a little issue. So I just marked it for discussion mainly.
So, I mean, your thought is that the listing agent should have followed up behind this company and seen where they put the sign?
I think when you put a sign in the yard, you're responsible for that sign in the yard. Excuse me. I think when a sign goes in a yard that you have the listing for, you need to know the sign is there in the right location. Now, we can make an argument, you know, that was an hour drive and I didn't want to do this. But I think what your point was, we're here to do what's best for the consumer. So let's just put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say I list my property with Miss Anna, and she puts the sign on Denise's property, then Anna's gonna be upset because she doesn't have a sign. So it could be both ways. I could be mad because I have a sign, or I could be mad because I don't have a sign.
So, I mean, I guess in this fact set, what was the listing agent's obligation then? Where are you trying to get to?
Are
I
you
guess
saying like to
what I'm
double
trying to
check, like the responsibility of the individual who put the sign, like ultimately, what you sound like you're talking about agency, you know, where whoever, if you were to delegate that person to do work for you to make sure that they do it,
Right.
but ultimately you're responsible. If you were to delegate something, you're responsible for whatever that person does, right?
Correct.
And so you're wanting that person to double check to make sure whatever person they hired or whatever put it in the right place. So it could
Correct.
be like, if you're wanting to talk to that person about that advertising, you could do a letter of instruction or a letter of warning to remind them to be cognizant of the advertising rules.
One thing I'm not seeing is the time frame between it happening and the discovery of the error.
Let me open the file and see if I can get some dates for you guys.
Was it vacant land or was it actually house?
Okay, let me look really quickly. Oh, man.
While you're looking at that, I'm gonna defend them a little bit. You know, if you're in a subdivision that has a bunch of new lots, and there's just 10 lots in a row, it's pretty tough to pick lot number 5, if you're just, I mean, unless you've been there with the client, but, I mean, it could be an honest mistake, and then like Joan said, big parcels of land sometimes is tough on, you know, old country roads that don't have clear addresses, and so,
Okay,
I think
so
it's an honest mistake.
this is a commercial property, and it appears the sign was put in a vacant lot, maybe used for a parking lot.
And according to the complaint, it was at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, well, it is a picture from the night. But yeah,
So
sign is just like on gravel lot.
Sorry. I understand we have a duty to the consumer, but are we seeing a dereliction of duty? I mean, just a gross negligence or an honest mistake?
So I think the issue with the person here is they are upset that this sign was placed on their property. So they've they thinks it's like, it's considered, I don't think it's to the extent of trespassing, unethical and illegal. It sounds like it is a mistake. However, I don't know where that sign was like actually supposed to go. Maybe the parking lot is, I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. Where is it supposed to go? So,
Make a motion to accept council's recommendation.
I have a motion by Commissioner
Oh.
Bagley to accept council's recommendation, seconded by Commissioner Gwen. Any further discussion on motion for case number 76? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 77, I pulled this one. The only thing I wanted to do with this one is I wanted to see if we could refer to the AG's office, Consumer Protection Division.
hold on, let me double check and make sure it didn't come from there.
77.
Oh, yes, we can do that. I think that would be a good idea.
You want to make that motion for us? Motion to refer to the Attorney General.
Yes, I'll make a motion to refer to the AG's office.
Commissioner Torbett makes a motion to refer case number 77 to the Attorney General's office, Consumer Protection Division, seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Next case is 82. Joan, that's you?
Will you turn on your mic, please, ma'am?
I'm so sorry. The complainant orally requested a reduced price, and then that amount was put in their advertisement. But it appears that they did not receive any of the paperwork or signed anything reducing the price. I know you're talking about the contractual disputes, but I was just concerned that there was not any kind of paperwork showing that the seller actually gave permission to change the price.
Right, so I can give some additional context on this particular case. So my understanding is this is essentially a long-standing relationship with this individual. Like they've been talking for, like they've been working for several years, and that there were several conversations going between the parties about the listing price. And while that individual was not able to give me a particular copy of a document where they signed offering, like on the listing price, they did find that, hold on one second. They did eventually also, it looks like, reduce they are aware of the listing price because of like subsequent offers, if that makes sense, where that particular reduction was listed in that document. So I don't have anything where they have it in writing, but it was
Anything where they
written.
signed or text or anything?
Right.
Okay. Make a motion, we accept council's recommendation on numbers 82 to dismiss.
Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation to dismiss case number 82. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 107. Joan, that's you again. I mean, you got through a good number of them before you pulled another one, so I mean.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. It appears that an advertisement was made incorrectly on, sorry.
It's gonna be me.
That's on
Yeah.
you. I'll go to you now.
Okay.
It appears that there was an advertisement made on heating and air that was advertised as new, but it was not. So would that fall under an advertising rule?
I think that's what they were alleging. Essentially, they were trying to say that, like, because they had a personal, like, the seller and the respondent had a personal relationship, that they knew about the defects with the HVAC unit, and essentially they should have disclosed it.
They did or did not?
That's what their argument is. The complaint's argument is that they should have disclosed it.
They should have
And the
disclosed.
respondent saying that, like, they didn't know about any kind of defects with the HVAC unit. Well, I guess units, because it was an upstairs and downstairs one.
Yeah, that's right. Something not a form. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. We accept council's recommendation.
Second.
Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation in case number 107, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Case number 117, Commissioner Gwynn.
Yes. The recommendation is to provide escrow account statements to who? To the commission or to
To me for
to
review.
the auditors or what?
I was requesting it to be sent to me to review, based off the allegations within the complaint. It seems like there may be some kind of commingling. There was an allegation that they kind of went into the red a couple times with paying landlords their money, and they paid them out of their personal
Got it. Okay.
accounts. And so I just wanted to check to make sure that that was either correct or not before assessing additional information and
Perfect.
civil penalties.
Okay, I'm good with it.
Just to clarify, this is case 123 and not 117, is that correct?
No, 117.
117, okay.
I added 117. So I make a motion to accept council's recommendation on 117.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gwynn to accept council's recommendation in case number 117, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Now it's time for case number 123. So this was pulled for discussion.
Yes.
Ms. Carter, what do you want us to know about case number 123?
So I pulled it for discussion because it was an allegation of failing to remit money. The total was about $4,000, and it was based off 2 failed transactions with real estate. And essentially, the respondent represented the complainant both times. They got earnest money in the amount of $5,000. The first time, $2,500 was withheld. The second time, $1,500 was withheld from the amount. The complainant said that it wasn't a consensual thing, and they were kind of pressured into it by the respondent. The respondent said that they're entitled to their commission because they helped out with all these things, and then they went to the bank, they deposited the amount, and then were able to get the money from
So-
the bank. It was just a very weird kind of situation.
Yeah, it's around the hen house to get to the barn, I know. So again, the cynical side of me came out and I said, so the only way this guy could legitimately pull the money out of his escrow account and get a piece of it is to give it back to the complainant and then draw from the complainant. That's a cynical side of me, or the nefarious side of me.
I think that's exactly what happened. Like the check was returned to the complainant, and then the respondent took the check to the bank, deposited it to them. They said that the complainant called the bank, and that's how
Yeah.
they were able to withdraw it. But it seemed
So,
like the complainant wasn't really that involved, except for just
and I apologize for jumping in and going first, Commissioners, but there was no mutual agreement on how the money was going to be handled or anything? There's nothing in the listing agreement and purchase sale agreement, nothing?
they didn't provide anything about like a commission being guaranteed. The earnest money disbursement did release it back to the complainant, but that's as far as it kind of went.
Did the complainant say in what manner the respondent pressured him?
They didn't.
They didn't. Do you have any suggestions under what rules or statutes we might be operating under here?
The only one I was thinking about was the failure to remit money. It's kind of like a weird kind of gray area since they did technically give the money to the respondent, it's just like the complainant saying it's not all that they were owed. But since they didn't really have like a specific instance or communication saying like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna take this money, they're saying there's no like kind of contract that was signed between those two parties that would insure them to the commission fee.
Is this not a contract dispute? We don't know the terms of their agreement, and our agreements state when compensation is earned or not earned. Are we, as a new commission member, are we not entering into a realm that is not a rulemaking area?
I'm not disagreeing with you. My concern is that, that the money was taken from a escrow account versus here's your earnest money back, but now you owe me $1,500, so you need to pay me back. So my concern is the money was taken out of escrow.
I'm not
So,
sure.
Go ahead, Steve.
I thought it was saying that he wanted his earnest money back, and the person said, I'm gonna charge you a fee, and I'll give you 2,500, or whatever the number is.
Yeah, so it's.
So he didn't give him the 5, and then the person that had the earnest money paid back 1,500 for a fee. It's like he netted it out, right?
It was kind of like a multi-step situation. So the money was in the title company. All parties agreed to release it in both situations. The check was given to the respondent to give to the complainant. And what they did instead was they had the escrow account, like, check. They went to the complainant's personal bank, deposited it there. And then somehow, however the bank works, I'm not sure what they said or how they got that together, but the complainant didn't seem to be with the respondent at the time. And so they're like, I'm depositing this $5,000 check, but give me $1,500 from this one, and then the second time, and then $2,500 from the second one. So it's an extra step that they added, so they technically did have the money. It was just kind of a weird
But it sounds like
spot.
the two parties didn't have an agreement to do it that way. I mean, there was nothing in writing that said he or she owed a fee or a loan or whatever it was, correct?
Correct. It was just going to the personal bank, so.
I mean, I think if it was part of my business, or this particular transaction, I would have what money I felt I was earning or was gonna charge my client. I would have that in a document that says, okay, this is my schedule of charges for the various steps in
Right.
the transaction. And the fact that the respondent didn't send you a document that says, here, this is what I told him, and he signed it, it's been fully executed. I mean, that draws a lot of concern from me. And to go to Commissioner Rampey's point, I mean, it is a contract dispute, but it just seems like this respondent said, oh, here's a check for $5,000, I'm gonna take half of it. And then a second occasion, he took another percentage of another earnest money check with no agreement in place.
But the
again-
complainant
oh, sorry, go
called the bank and said, give him $2,500 of that.
My problem is, you should never be paid anything out of escrow. And escrow is showing good faith to the seller of the property. It's an escrow check. So you never, unless you have you can do a release of escrow and it can say some goes to the buyer, some goes to the seller. And I guess you could say some goes to the agent, but it should have been refunded in whole, and then they should have done a separate transaction for payment of services, in my opinion. You can't commingle those funds. I mean, that's the whole.
But my understanding
I
of
do
this
think it was
right
two
here
separate.
is that they gave him the escrow, from the escrow account, from the title company, gave him the check.
One check.
Made out to the complainant. Took it to the complainant's bank to deposit it. The complainant called the bank, said, give him $2,500 of that. So.
Well, but the key, isn't the key that the the two parties instructed the title company to release the escrow funds. Is that what you said earlier?
Yes, so it's like essentially total of 4 different transactions. So yes, it didn't come from the escrow account or the money. That money was deposited to the complainant's account. And then the separate transaction is give this person X amount of money. The weird thing was just like the no contract, there was like no.
I mean, obviously,
guarantee
we're,
for commission.
we're reading this because the complainant is not happy, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, if it was a good deal and everybody's happy and he called the bank and said, give him the money, unless they're having, remorse about it or something after the fact or somebody's gotten in their ear, the deal is they don't think it was right. So, I mean, I think there needs to be an audit opened up on their escrow and kind of dig into this a little. I mean,
Yeah, and again, I think if the respondent was legitimately entitled to any of this money, he would have a document. You would think that he would have a fully executed document that says, okay, these are the monies that I'm charging and I'm entitled to if these conditions are met. And the fact that he didn't provide counsel of that exhibit where we could say, okay, I mean, complainant, you may not like it, but you signed it, so Merry Christmas. But I don't see that here, so I can't give the respondent the benefit of the doubt on this one. And it might be remorse on the complainant's part, because, they did a silly thing and called the bank and released the funds, but
Okay, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but again, we're here to address violations, and I'm seeing a dispute between two people that is related to a contractual agreement. I don't see, unless I'm wrong, I'm not seeing that they that the wrong person took money from that escrow account that was not entitled to get it.
if you took money from an escrow account for a payment, you took money from the wrong account.
But both parties, my understanding is both parties agreed to the disbursement from the escrow account. They
If that-
basically
if
signed
that
a
was-
mutual
if that-
release.
So you've got the buyer and the seller signed mutual release, but then the agent in the middle got paid. That's where we're stepping in. So the complainant was the purchaser. There was somewhere a seller, and then there was this respondent in the middle. So the buyer and the seller signs a mutual release that says, deal's off, you can have the money back, however how they decide to allocate that money. This other third-party guy or girl got money. So that's why we're here, I think. Is that true?
That was what the allegation was, yes.
Yeah, so-
Is that like they didn't get the full amount of money. They are still owed $4,000 from those two kind of failed transactions. That's what the complaint is alleging. I do believe that it's like kind of a mix between the contract and,
That's where I'm
and this
having a hard
issue.
time making a determination here, is where is this a compensation dispute versus something that we oversee?
So I think because we're talking about the escrow account, and the commission doesn't intervene in the settlement of debts or commission disputes or anything, but that's between two licensees in that particular instance. But if we're talking about earnest money that is due to a individual in a transaction, then that is when the commission would state you have not, dispersed the funds as it was required by contract. I think that's the difference here, is that we're not dealing with two licensees in this particular instance. Does that help?
Well, in the narrative, it says that the respondent was instructed to deliver the funds to the complainant. So, and then it was at that point that the respondent withheld the $2,500, at least in that first transaction. And they said it was because they showed property. They spent time showing properties. Now, again, at that point, I would expect there to be some written agreement that says, if I show properties, I'm going to charge a fee, and here's the fee. Please sign. and then there's a signed document that says, that's what I think it's the lack of documentation, to Commissioner Rampey's point, of how these funds are supposed to be dispersed, or how fees are going to be assessed and when they're due, I think is the problem that we're hung up on. I think any of the practitioners, Commissioner Rampey, probably yourself included, you document very carefully when you're going to get paid and how much you're going to get paid. And it just seems like this respondent is deciding when and where they're going to take money without advance consent from at least from this complainant.
So let's take a look-see at our rules over about relating to
Sure.
managing escrow trustee accounts. And in your book, it's going to be on page 79. And one of the things that it states, like in our rules, is where it says, where a contract authorizes a principal broker to place trust money in escrow or trustee account, the principal broker shall clearly specify in the contract. And one of the things that it says, the terms and conditions for disbursement of the trust money. And here, based upon the conversation that I think we're having, the terms and conditions of disbursement of the trust money was not provided.
Not provided to you or not provided to the complainant?
To the, well, if it's not written, if it's written in contract, how that's supposed to be done, right? And so the individual didn't follow the instructions that were written in the contract. And so you're required to disperse the money as has been written in contract, but based upon what I'm hearing in the argument of the complaint, I don't think that was followed, the instructions of the complaint.
So the title company was holding the escrow money.
Yes.
Well, I'm assuming that if there was some documentation that made this right, the respondent would have provided that, like, look, they signed this document, it said I was supposed to get $1,500 and then $2,500, but there's not been any documentation showing that sent to us, right? By the
The
respondent.
earnest money disbursement has it going to the complainant. I think their issue is like where it kind of gets muddled, where they're supposed to transfer it to the complainant, like the respondent picked up the check for the complainant, took it to the bank, like a personal bank for the complainant.
The plaintiff, the complainant?
Yes.
Okay.
They took it to like the complainant's personal bank, and that's where it was deposited.
I just don't.
Sorry.
You haven't seen any documentation that says the respondent was supposed to get any of that, though, correct?
Correct. Nothing that said the respondent was entitled to a percentage of it, just that the money was supposed to be released to the complainant. And then there's
Okay.
like a weird.
Just as a question, let's assume that I've got $100,000 in the bank, and you're gonna bring me this $5,000 that goes in there. But then I call the bank and I say, I'm just gonna give this guy $1,500 out of my account. So we don't know, did the money come out of his 100,000, or was it part of? Or does that make sense?
Well, I would say that the escrow money was handled correctly. It went
It
to the
was-
complainant
I agree.
and went to their bank.
Right.
So I think the title company did what they were
I agree.
told to do. I can't figure out why the complainant would call the bank and said, give them this money.
Because we're assuming that the $1,500 came out of that check, but it could have just been because he had lots of money in the bank.
Yeah, it was a personal account, so I'm not sure how much money was in there.
Right. So it doesn't
Official there, like,
necessarily say
total.
it came from the escrow.
How could the complainant complain when he or she wrote the check back to the respondent?
They didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
We don't know if they called the bank or somebody
They
just
called the bank. They said,
well-respected in the neighborhood, banks there a lot, and hands a check and go, I want to put 5,000 in that account and get 1,500 back for them or whatever. I mean, it would be a bank. A bank employee, would be liable, but it could happen. I mean,
So we do or don't know if the complainant authorized the bank to take this money out? It says that the complainant did.
It appears that they did authorize it at some point, sorry. Like, it seemed like they did call it, but they said that it was coercion, essentially. Like, the reason they even paid them the total of $4,000 between the two transactions was because the respondent kind of pressured them into giving them a percentage of that money.
I think it's hard to say that that money actually came from his escrow money.
Would it be advantageous for us to gather more information and to represent in February? We
I
can
was
reach
about to
out.
recommend that.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
reach out to the respondent, the complainant, and see if they can provide a statement, like a bank statement, so we can get a better understanding of what actually happened and maybe even ask some follow-up questions to the complainant as well. Would that,
I think the biggest issue is whether there was anything in writing with that agent that they would get that money. And if they can't provide that, then what the complainant here is saying that they were coerced and felt pressured into giving them that money. And so there should be some documentation, as Jeff has been saying, that says you owe me this money and it's written in my buyer agreement.
I'd also like to point out, for what it's worth, that in the first paragraph, the transaction fell through and a mutual release was executed. The respondent was instructed to deliver funds to the complainant. So again, I just don't see, oh, and by the way, the other one is that this is an ethical complaint. I just saw it a second ago. Oh, the complainant stated that the respondent engaged in ethical violations. I think that's what we're dealing with, is somebody's operating either confused or somebody else is operating a little aggressively. But as far as an earnest money violation that we would assess a penalty for, I haven't seen it.
That would be why we're asking for more information.
Yes, exactly.
In the second paragraph, the second to the last sentence says, they stated the complainant called the bank and authorized a withdrawal of $1,500.
That they were
Yes.
supposed to give to someone else.
But it doesn't matter who they were going to give it
I think both parties
to.
agree to
They-
that.
The complainant authorized $1,500.
Yes, I
So-
think both parties have agreed that those were the correct amounts that like were withdrawn. They're just like disagreeing on if someone's entitled to it or not.
But at the end of the third paragraph, it's basically that the person felt that the money wasn't given consensually,
Yes.
meaning they didn't have a deal, but it still sounds to me like that they gave them the money anyway.
Yes, they're saying.
Whether or
that-
not,
yeah.
you know, if I write a check to somebody or authorize payment to somebody, I've given my consent. How can you come back later and say, I didn't consent to something you consented to?
So,
That's,
Ariel, you're asking us in your last paragraph to determine if the money was properly remitted to complainant.
Yes.
So it seems like in the timeline of things happened, there was a check issued for the earnest money, and that check did arrive at the complainant's bank account.
Yes. For
So
both
me,
times.
so that, to me, I think that right there says that the earnest money in the form of that check was properly handled. What happens after that, I don't think is in the, to Commissioner Rampey's point, I don't think is necessarily in the jurisdiction of the commission, because that's a separate transaction. Once it's no longer earnest money, it's now in the complainant's bank account. What they do after that,
Which is my point. We don't know if that was all of the money in the bank. We don't know that money
Well, I
actually
don't-
came
yeah.
from the escrow account.
I don't think that we need to
It
know.
doesn't, I don't think we need to know
Says
that.
they withheld,
But,
they didn't deposit it and get some back out. The respondent withheld 1,500 as a loan.
Well, yeah, that's the 1,500, and withheld the 2,500.
Felt pressured to agree to receive the remaining funds. And why is the complainant taking checks and stuff? I mean, it's just weird.
If
But
you
I mean, whatever y'all
turn
do,
on your microphone,
let's either ask for further information.
Well, let's get a motion then. So somebody make a motion.
Somebody speaking to their microphone.
I would like to make a motion that what would we table till next meeting and get more information? We request more information and we'll discuss next
So
meeting.
your motion is to defer to February?
Yes.
All right. Commissioner Torben makes a motion that we defer case number 123 until the February meeting and allow council to collect more information. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. All right. Case number 126. I pulled that case because I'm glutton for punishment, but this one in the fact set seems to be that the licensee said that he was acting as a closing attorney. The respondent is an affiliate broker and acted as the closing attorney.
I think I meant closing agent, is what I think I meant to write.
Okay, so
But they're not an attorney, to my knowledge.
the respondent's not an attorney
No.
and didn't act as a closing attorney?
No, they just
Okay.
acted in their capacity as an agent. I
Very
apologize for
good.
that.
Okay, council's recommendation was to dismiss. I have no quibble with that one. Is there a motion?
So moved that we accept council's recommendation. Excuse me, on number 126.
Commissioner Smith makes a motion that we accept council's recommendation on case number 126, seconded by Commissioner Torbett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Is there any further items on our agenda? Let me see.
I meant to pull 32.
Oh, we have to move on to the supplementals now.
The addendum.
I meant to pull 32, but I don't want to go back and pull it because we've already approved it. But I do want to ask this question. So that was where a broker was fined $500 because of an ad that an agent put on social media that didn't have the one-click rule or whatever. The broker says they do training, they show that they tell agents what they need to do, but yet they were still fined. I think we need to give some sort of instructions that if as a broker, have my agent sign every year, hey, you got to have all this on your advertising, blah, blah, whatever. And I've done training. It doesn't mean that I'm on social media all day long looking for ads. So is there something we can do that would help the brokers to make sure that they're doing what they need to do and not get a $500 fine for somebody going rogue one night and putting something out there?
Is it to me or to y'all? Or
I'm reviewing, I wasn't prepared to discuss 32. I'm reviewing the.
so generally, I don't think there's like a way to completely absolve your responsibility of something just by signing a form. Like even if you were to say, you are required to do yada yada blah blah blah. If there are consequences for that form, then of course that would be something that you could do internally. I don't know whether that is fire the person or broker release that person. But in the eyes of like the rules and the law, we can't say just because the principal broker said X, Y, and Z, they signed it prior to the year. That's not, to me, dispositive information because that's one of the, I guess, very big responsibilities that you take on being a principal broker in that particular instance. Now, if it were to come to a complaint at that point, you would, in the complaint, explain all of those things that you do for the respondent, like we do this sign, yada, yada, blah, 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 all of that stuff in the response. Then it would come before you, and you would make the determination of, well, they've done all that they could in this situation. It appears that this person has been instructed all these times, and you would make a determination whether you think that violation is there. But as far as like a blanket thing, I don't think there is a way for us to do that. The only thing that I could recommend to principal brokers at that point is just to, in your response, tell us everything that you're doing and what you've done related to advertising, and then it's up to you ultimately whether you find that to be a mitigating factor for the complaint.
And directly to this particular complaint, this was an administrative complaint opened by the commission in April for this particular situation in this particular broker.
Okay. So we were presented with supplemental cases this morning by Ms. Matlock, cases number 144 through 163, was it? 162. Commissioners, have you had time to read and deliberate on these new cases? I'm guessing not, but we'll go ahead and take a few more minutes to look at these cases and see if commissioners want to pull any for further discussion. Commissioner Gwynn.
Question on 156. This is lease. I'm just curious, neither party is licensed, correct?
It's just the respondent is not licensed, but I don't believe that the complainant
Nor
is
is the
either. They're just-
complainant, just a
I think
Tennessee
they're just a
resident?
tenant. Yeah, I think they're just a tenant, a prospective tenant, I believe, I should say.
So you looked for the property, you couldn't even find the property?
The address that was given in the complaint, I couldn't find a listing for that,
You know,
except for like, other than like
It
the.
wasn't in the assessor's website or anything?
No, I didn't see it there.
So
just
it
on
could be
the
a
third
fake
party.
deal? I mean,
It could be. I think the concern, the only reason I brought it up was because they, at least based off the response, seemed like they were presenting themselves as property management without a license, and that's why the civil penalty was recommended.
but if it's a owner of a house or and they submit a lease to somebody, they don't have to be licensed, or,
Correct. I
so,
just couldn't confirm
one way or the other?
And so I was going to err on the side of the consumer and trying to make sure that if they were advertising as a property management company,
But the beef of the complainant was essentially, they thought they had a deal and the landlord never signed the lease and went to somebody else.
correct, yeah. I don't believe that they actually had a binding agreement. They just essentially submitted an application, they went with someone else, and they were upset about it.
Okay. $1,000 then is just kind of a shot in the dark, so to speak,
It was
to
just because I didn't
see if
have
we get a
any-
response.
Yes, I didn't have any proof that they owned the property.
They own the
were
property.
Leasing.
And
into.
weren't supposed to have a license.
Correct, but if I get something back after the consent order is sent, saying that like, this is our property, I own it, then I'll represent it and make a new recommendation to dismiss it.
Okay.
Find the respondent, like, you found that person, like, you can mail this to somebody, you know where they are.
They gave us an email address in the response, and so.
The
we'll
respondent
I will
did?
attempt to find them.
So, the response by the complainant, or who gave you that email address?
The respondent responded to the complaint via email, so I have a hopefully valid email address for giving them consent orders.
So just out of curiosity, when we send a fine, do we mail, we don't email that. Do we email that, or how do we do that?
So we send it through first-class mail and then email, but if I don't have any good contact information, I will sometimes do an investigator if they're in Tennessee and try to find them that way, and then personally serve them with consent order.
Okay.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept council's recommendation on numbers 144 through 162.
So Commissioner Smith makes a motion to accept council's recommendation on cases number 144 through 162, seconded by Commissioner Bagley. Any discussion? Any commissioners that wish to pull any cases out of this list for discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. And as seems that concludes the legal report. So is there any new business?
Yes, so the next commission meeting is February 17th, 2026, in this room at 8:30 a.m. Also, if you are here for CE, please make sure you sign out in order to receive your 8 hours of continuing education. And please don't forget, we'll be speaking at the Tennessee Next Summit, or excuse me, Excel Summit on February 17th at 1:00 p.m. And if there is a hearing, it will be on the following day, the 18th. And if there is a hearing, you'll have more information about that in early February.
All right, I unfortunately won't be able to stay for the holiday lunch, so I'll be heading back to Memphis immediately. So I'll take this chance to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Be safe, be happy, enjoy your time off and families if you're taking any. And I will see all of you in February. Commissioners, any other business? Hearing none, I believe we stand adjourned until February 17th. Everybody travel safe.
Commissioner Diaz, we'll need your signature on the letter, please. Thank you.